Namaste everyone. Welcome you all to another WHP session of 2025. Hope all of you are doing good. How are you all?
Good.
Hey, all great. Thank you so much.
Yes, thank you. Okay. So, for newcomers here, Women Health Education Program is a online series conducted by Ayurveda Academy. We are conducting this program since 3 years. So we have been talking about mainly two topics. One is about women health, and another one is about food. Recently we started these two series again, and uh, we are almost finishing these two series one more time. So myself, Dr. Deepika, I'm a volunteer, Vaidya volunteer at Ayurveda Academy, and I'm practicing at Mysore. And we have Dr. Anandi and Dr. Prashant Gokhale today with us to share their insights about the topics for today. Uh, so, as you all know, we are talking about two topics. One is about the food, different vargas, different categories of food. So far, we have completed from water till the grains and even the vegetables also. So today we are talking about one more important, very common and very interesting topic. It's about fruits. So we are talking about phala varga today. Before that, I have a small story to share with you all. Recently, in Jan first week itself, we had been for a trip in Himachal Pradesh. And you know, Himachal Pradesh is also known for apple harvest, right? So while we were exploring different villages of Himachal Pradesh, one village where we were visiting was known for apple trees. So as soon as I got to know about that pahad or village, I was so excited that I can see apple trees and maybe some apples also. But for my surprise, when we went to that place, I could see only the dried stems or trunk of apple trees, and I was not sure that whether this was the apple tree or not. Then I asked the cab driver, and he told, yes, these are entire mountain or pahad was covered with those dried stems or dried trunks of apple trees, and he told, these are the apple trees. And I asked him, is the apple season is over or what, why none of the trees are having even not even the leaves also. Apples were not there, but even the leaves were not there. And I was shocked whether it is a dead tree or what. So then he told, it's not dead, it looks like this in off season. Once this winter and snowfall everything is over, then it starts sprouting, and you could see leaves from April month onwards. And then gradually flowering will happen, and then by September or October you'll get apples, and by November December completely the harvest of apples will be over, and you have come in Jan month, so you cannot see apples anywhere. And then I asked him, like, okay, so is the apple season over in this particular region place or everywhere? Then he told, no, almost everywhere apple season is gone now, so you cannot see apples anywhere, maybe. Probably in some parts of Kashmir, still some may be left, but most of all will be over by now. So I was thinking, but we are getting apples in the market, we are eating it now, and also we get apples throughout the year also. Nowadays we get apples in uh, throughout the year, right? So I asked him from where it is coming. Then I cannot see even a single leaf on the apple trees, but we are getting apples in the market and it is very fresh, and it's not dried one, it is not um, stored in refrigerator, it is available everywhere. So how, where, from where it is coming? Then he told something which was shocking and which was a kind of realization for me. And that part I will share after listening to our first session about fruits. So, for this session, we have Dr. Anandi to share her insights about Phala Varga, different fruits. So, I welcome Dr. Anandi to the session.
Thank you. Namaste, everyone. I just wanted to check I'm audible, right?
Yes, Namaste.
Okay. Namaste. So I'd like to jump straight into the topic because fruits in general, there are way too many. And to try and cover at least a good amount of it, let's get into the details. One second. Okay. I've also shared the screen, so you can pin that onto your window. So, Phala, uh, let us start with when is it that we can actually eat fruits? Because there are varied opinions, right? You get opinions that you can have fruits when on empty stomach, or you can have it as a snack in between, or after completing the meal, or at night before going to bed. You have so many different variations. So, actually speaking, when are we supposed to eat the fruits? So there is a reference which says Bisekshu mocha chochamra modakotkari kadikam adyad dravyam guru snigdham swadumandam sthiram puraha. Meaning all of the padarthas or dravyas that are sweet in nature, that are heavy, that have a slow and difficult to digest kind of, and are unctuous for the body. All of these are supposed to be had in the very beginning of the meal. That gives your system and Agni more amount of time or samparka with the dravya. So by the end of the entire digestion process, all of this would have undergone proper paka and can be taken up into the body. Right. So almost all fruits will come under this category because they are snigdha, they are madhura. A lot of them are shita, they are sthira, all of the properties that I told. They are slow, it'll take actual time for all of it to digest. And we don't really cook the fruits, they are raw, right? Most of them. So, in such states, the best time to have fruits is at the very beginning of the meal, not as a separate meal. Overall, you would have already learned in different classes maybe that eating, as far as Ayurveda is concerned, happens either twice a day, which is the best, or thrice a day. At the maximum is three times. So whatever you eat, be it fruits, vegetables, your all the other vargas that have been covered before this, every other item will have to fall within these three categories of either ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ತಿಂಡಿ ಮಧ್ಯಾಹ್ನ ಊಟ ಇಲ್ಲ ರಾತ್ರಿ ಊಟ ಇದರೊಳಗನೆ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ. So that's the very first thing. So phala is not a separate thing to be eaten at some other timing, but comes as part of the meal in the beginning so that the digestion process can happen properly. So we do also get a whole lot of combinations. In current society, you get fruit flavored ice creams, you get fruits that are eaten along with hot jamun or some other combination. If you so are all of these combinations okay to have? The first thing in that is there is a specific combination where sour fruits that have amlatva in it, in the rasa, in what you can taste, should never be taken with payas, which is milk. That is the biggest contraindication that you have. It is an incompatible combination. So if you have it that way, the body undergoes it. So that combination itself, it's first called as viruddha. It is not to be had. And so what did I say? It was amla, sour, and that is mixed along with milk. It'll curdle, or even if it doesn't, it becomes difficult for the body to send out whatever is being produced. If something toxic is being produced in the body and the body is able to flush it out of the system either through urine or feces, that is okay. But when this combination happens of an amla fruit along with milk, the body is not able to send it out. The dosha that is produced in the body is not flushed, and hence it will cause other problems to the body. So this combination is 100% not acceptable. So if you're having orange milkshake, even strawberry, which is huli, which is properly amla, you're making milkshakes out of that, ice creams out of that, it is actually going to cause an issue. So when you're having fruits along with milk, it is okay to have it when they are really sweet fruits, madhura fruits. Otherwise, not to have that combination. That's the first thing. Second thing, fruits in nature, there are different processings that can be done. I'll be sharing a few recipes with you. So in that, you will see that it is either being cooked or made into a jam or a preserve or something else. So the property of the fruit undergoes a change when it comes in contact with Agni. And taking fried berries, fried fruits is actually not advisable because the combination again is not compatible. And the very nature of the fruit is lost in the process of deep frying it in oil. So, deep frying fruits is not accepted, keeping that on the second. So, the third thing would be with sweets and other jamun or other things. If you have a very good Agni, it is winter season, you've got really good metabolism, you generally don't suffer from, like cough, cold, fever regularly or sinus issues. If you don't have such problems, eating that once in a while, maybe once in 2-3 months, and at the very beginning of a meal, checking your Agni, seeing if you really want to have anything further. Like you can skip the rest of the meal also if you're having just that. So accordingly, if you shift and do that, it is okay. Along with other sweets is not the worst option. It is fine. In bakery products also, the fruit undergoes a processing. If it is along the same combination, if you've got citric fruits that are being used in the baking process, you should not be using milk in those processes because the very combination causes an issue. So leaving out those, all other options are not an issue. You can have that considering your Agni. So these are three things. When do we eat it? Along with what combinations are incompatible. Certain dravyas, actually, as Deepika ma'am was giving us the example, many of the fruits that are currently available in the market are not really seasonal. They are available throughout the year. You get bananas, you get apples, you get even berries for that matter. You find oranges, everything throughout the whole year. So, in the area that you are living in your desha, whichever is the most grown fruit, whichever naturally occurs in that area, and the season in which it is actually present, that is when those fruits are better for you. Otherwise, the processing that the fruit goes through to keep it preserved and available throughout the year for us is 100% harmful. There will be both pesticides, fertilizers, as well as other chemicals which make sure that it cannot undergo paka, which means it is being stopped from a natural process that it should be going through, be it on the tree or be it after it has been plucked and stored. So, making sure that it is actually a seasonal fruit will help us a lot in avoiding a lot of other problems that we don't even realize is coming from this source. So, these are the main base concepts that I wanted to cover before we go to detailed phala. Starting with one of the king, Phalottama, according to Ayurveda, is actually Draksha. But I wanted to start with Kadali or banana, because usually what happens is you eat this fruit after the meal. At the end of a meal or after dinner or something like that is when most people are tending to eat banana. So I want to start with this. In terms of taste, what do we actually feel when we eat banana? If it's not completely ripe, it has little bit of that rawness left, then you feel it's astringent, kashaya rasa. Otherwise, mostly it is Madhura. There are certain smaller varieties which are even Amla, but we are going to talk about the majority, which is Madhura, sweet. Among all, there are too many varieties of Kela for me to cover each and every one of them. But I would say that according to the references, whichever is smaller and has maximum madhuratva, maximum sweetness, is going to give you the best properties. Others are not varjya. It is not that you cannot eat the others, but among all of them, the most shrestha would be that which is smaller and has more amount of madhuratva. It is Shita, but not way too Shita, meaning it does cause some amount of coldness in the body, but not so much. And Kadali is actually pretty heavy to digest. We don't feel it. With any fruit, what many patients, when we try to tell them don't eat these, they come back saying, when we eat, we don't feel as though it is heavy. It feels pretty easy, light. It is okay to have it as a snack, so why can't we have it? But on your digestive system, the impact that this actually has is that it is heavy to digest. Overall, it is among the dosha. What does it help with? It is vata pitta hara. It reduces both vata and pitta. So when can you have it? If you have burning sensation in excess, or if there is a whole lot of thirst, you feel hungry constantly, or there is some sort of imbalance in your semen or in your reproductive tissues, or you've got constipation. These are the common things or conditions in which Kadali actually helps a lot. Always have kadli before the meal, have a banana before the meal, but not after. It's something that if it's in practice, you really have to shift it out. It is, as it's a little difficult to digest, it's preferable not to give this in people who already have diabetes or you have obesity, and it's a problem. So do not have it because it will be difficult for the body to digest, or it'll digest and then it'll go towards a specific pathway in the body that's already been set. So it will increase your either your diabetes or your obesity. And for those who are looking to gain weight, improve weight, and also skin quality and texture, banana is actually very helpful. So what are the different ways? Banana, all different parts actually can be used. I am focusing on the phala alone, but you have different recipes with both the flowers, the stems, as well as the fruit itself, the raw fruit also. So fruit pulp itself, if you make a long incision in it and you put 2 or 3 pipali, long peppers, as well as small peppers, normal peppers, and you keep it, you peel it off, cover it with a thin cotton cloth or something, leave it under the moonlight, and you do this for one night. The next day morning, you can have that on empty stomach. This would be an exception because the first, what I'm telling you, is more of a way of using the same thing as a medicine. So that has different colors. So just this one time you can have it in the very beginning of the day, and that is just after your hunger started. You leave out. You don't eat anything else after that. So this, especially when done when there is a change in the ritu, meaning from summer it's moving into rain or rain is moving into winter. In that season, this will help balance out any of the imbalances happening in the doshas. It will also give you bala to take on whatever change is happening in the season. It'll prevent the common cold, flu, all of that which occurs at that time. This will help with that. So that's the first one. Second is if a semi-ripe or ripe fruit is there, you can steam that fruit. It'll make it a little more easy to digest, laghu, and that you can have along with hot milk. This itself again can be the whole meal, and it'll improve your strength as well as vitality. Now the third one is something everybody loves: banana chips. But the chips, either if they're made with coconut oil or with ghee, is preferable than with the palm oil that is currently being used because they don't want that smell to persist. So either you can make it at home or you can get it done in this way. So a little bit of ghee, you can add part amount of ghee and the rest can be coconut oil also. So along with salt eaten in smaller quantities, when you really have good agni, this will continue to improve that. The other option is to have it along with jaggery powder and little bit of ginger powder, shunti. And that will help also with pitta if that has increased. So that will be allowed to send out of the body. The last one is okay. Among all milkshakes, banana milkshake is really okay because it is a madhura phala. It is not a amla phala. So in case you do a whole lot of physical work, you're constantly moving around a lot. There's a lot of debility because of all of this excess travel, excess work. Physically, there are things happening. Then banana milkshake is okay to have, and again before the meal, and followed by a very light meal if you really need to eat. Otherwise, that itself can be a good meal. This was majorly about banana. Next, we will go to kharjura. So I'm going a little fast. If anything is to be clarified, we'll again do that at the end of the session. So here we've got kharjura. Kharjura, again, dates, you get different types. We're going with what is standard and available. The dried version is what I'm going to tell the properties of. So here, of course, it is sweet in nature. It has a slight astringent kashaya rasa and also is a little bit of bitterness. The bitter is much more stronger and the kashaya is much stronger when it is a raw, undried fruit, which is it's a yellow version. It is just plucked directly from the tree. At that stage, those are the properties that are more. Whereas once it is dried, it actually becomes sweeter. These are shita. They are colder in potency, and it is again heavier to digest, and it is unctuous. So it gives you jidinamsha yadu bekagato. So that will be provided by this as well. Dates also. This is also majorly vata pitta hara. And in case you have dry cough, and you've been having it for a whole lot of time, and it's become painful in the chest, in that, or in shwasa, you're having little difficulty in breathing. That is also, and you're not having any kapha per se, like it is not obstructed. You don't feel that way, but dry internally, or hikka, which is hiccups. Then you have thirst, or you've suffered from a very long term jwara, weakness in the body, or bleeding disorders, like you have nasal bleeding, gingival, like gum bleeding, or you've got bleeding through the hematuria, which is either in the urine or in feces. In all of that, also dates are actually very helpful. It of course gives you a whole lot of strength, that we know, because even for children you do give it to improve that. So what can we do at home? Date kheer is actually a good option. You soak the dates in hot milk first. You let it become softer. Then you make a pulp of that. Separately, you also make coconut milk. The date mixture, first you start boiling. Along with that, add your ela and a few cashew, and even dates itself you can roast in ghee again and put in that. Along with this, once this much is done, once you add the coconut milk, don't allow it to boil a lot. So at that stage, you stop the fire, and that can be given as a kheer. Kheer actually, especially in pregnant women, in their first 3 months, in the first trimester, when you have a lot of chardi vomiting, taken in small quantity, this in all of the meals actually helps regain both your strength, stability, as well as reduces the tendency of vomiting and weakness, as well as it increases your muscle tissues. So as a laddu, you could do the same thing, and that can be made. I mean, you can pound it and make that and give it even for children, but not too many times. So twice or thrice a week, again along with food, will help with increasing the bala. Then one method of storage of dates is also that you could de-seed the whole thing, put it in a jar of honey, and along with that add little bit of pepper, long pepper, and ginger powder, as well as a little bit of camphor and saffron. So if all of this is added and you leave it, you let it age for a month, and after that you can consume these dates, especially in winter, because even though it is shita dravya, it is cold in potency. Once it's added and preserved in such a way, it is a little less shita, and in the winter months that will help maintain your agni also. So these were 3 things that we can do with kharjura or dates. This is another favorite. A lot of people have come to us with issues after having overeaten panasa or jackfruit. So what does jackfruit do? Generally, I mean, the ripe version of jackfruit, it is very sweet. It is super heavy. So this is something to note. Among all the fruits that I've told, jackfruit is really heavy. And it reduces vata and pitta. Whereas the unripe version, you use it for making sabjis, like kathal sabji. That helps with giving a whole lot of strength and bala to the tissues. It also helps reduce burning sensation. So hasidu halasu is a saying. So that is really important. If you are not hungry, don't even see jackfruit. Don't touch jackfruit. It is that important that you have really good metabolism in Agni before eating jackfruit. So it is, what are the different? It definitely improves your taste. It is strengthening. It is a cardiac tonic kind of. It is hridya. And in case of people who have, uncontrolled urine, where they keep passing urine, this actually helps with giving bala to the bladder also. Mutrashaya balakara it is. And when you have overeaten, no, so what can we do then? There are two things. One, have a little bit of coconut oil along with warm water and jeeraka. And in general, also while eating halasu, normally have it along with coconut oil. So that will help reduce the ill effects that it can have on your digestive system. So, what are the problems it can cause if we eat too much of it? It can cause shirobhara, or the whole body feels really heavy. You can have ajirna, you can have constipation, it can even lead to jvara. And it should not be eaten in people who have a very bad case of, shwasa, asthma kind of, or diabetes, or indigestion, or if you've got swellings in the body. In all these conditions, don't touch jackfruit. And the ripe fruit, you can actually use it after sun drying and consume over a period of time also. It need not be only in that season. There are 2-3 recipes that are made with it, especially in Kerala, where they make something called chakka pradaman. Pradaman is basically coconut milk paisa of jackfruit. It is one of the tastiest dishes, no doubt, but eat in moderation. So, what is this helpful for? You make coconut milk separately, steam cook or pressure cook the ripe fruit, take out only the pulp of it, make it into a paste, and then add it along with. You can either make it into a paste or as it is, along with jaggery, bellada paka. And along you add ela, the normal kheer ka process, and coconut milk you add, turn off before it reaches a boil, and you can have this as a kheer. Now, this is actually good when there is way too much bleeding during periods. If you've got any kind of bleeding anywhere in the body, ಹಲಸಿದು ಈ ತರ ಪಾಯಸ ಮಾಡಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು is actually very good. Second is chakka varati. Varati is where you make it into a preserve itself. So the same process, you don't add any coconut milk, keep stirring and it will become a hardened ball or like a jam like preserve. Both stages you can stop. So this you can keep for a long period of time. Again, it is balya, pushtikara, gives you a lot of nourishment and strength. Again, this is 100% kept in mind that you have to eat in moderation only when you have Agni, otherwise it's a problem, right? And halasu, the chips, everyone has it. Again, if this is cooked in coconut oil, that's better because what is currently happening in market is it's cooked in palm oil and that will cause vidagdhatva, meaning it will increase pitta. And you may have burning sensation and other problems. So make sure that you get it from a source where they cook it in coconut oil. All right. Phalotama we finally reached. The one that what is considered the king of fruits, which is drakshi. So in unripe form, drakshi is actually huli, and it is also ushna. It increases pitta. Semi-ripe form, it is deepana. It is little more sweeter, and it also improves your taste buds. If you have lost ruchi, this will help in that. Fully ripe will be pitta hara. It is, of course, it is sweet only, and it is very good in case of excess trishna or you're talking too much. In those cases, this will be good. Dry grapes is the very best form of grapes, that is raisins. So that is shita, that doesn't have an effect just on body, it also has a really calming effect on the mind also. So that is good in case of eye burning sensation or in case you have pitta, any kind of problems of pitta, excess acne, gastritis, ulcers, vomiting, dryness, any of these issues, dry grapes or raisins is very useful. So how can we use it? Let's see. So in case you're a teacher, musician, chanter, you keep talking a whole lot, soak some raisins in sweet raisins, make sure that it is, and you can soak that in hot milk, add a little bit of kal sakre, and later after it is soaked, you macerate it and have that. Maybe an hour after you've finished all of the talking. So that gives bala to your vocal cords. The second would be in case you have malabandha, meaning you're having constipation, Then you soak the same in hot water, maybe for like an hour or so. Then you macerate it and actually break the seed, like allow that to also split and chew and eat the entire thing along with the seed, the pulp and seed. This will help with vibandha. It is going to help with your easing your bowel movements. Then if you have a whole lot of pitta, you have daha, there's burning sensation anywhere in the face, eyes, nose bleeding. Same thing you can do, but boil it in water along with dhania seeds, and this you have along with your food or at the end of food. Both these cases, it will help. And finally, if you've got, say, a dry throat or you're coughing a whole lot and it's dry, you can just mix a little bit of rock sugar candy along with the raisins, keep it in your mouth or lick it, and that will help you make the entire part little more snigdha, allow that dryness to go away. These are your major things for raisins. So lastly, what I'm doing in detail, I wanted to cover 6. So in that, dalimbe or pomegranate. Here you've got 3 different types. It could be either fully sweet or a mixture of sweet and sour or sour. Madhura, Madhura Amla or Amla. So whichever is more, Madhura is Shrestha. It is what's considered best because it's the only fruit which is Tridoshahara. It doesn't do increase of any dosha. All 3 doshas are reduced or Shamana happens because of Madhura Dalimbe, sweet Dalimbe. It helps, of course, with increasing appetite, allows better bowel movements, it gives you proper ruchi in your mouth. It's hridya, meaning it's also a tonic for your heart in a way. If you've got thirst, if you've got burning sensation, jvara, in all these conditions, it is a staple. Again, how do we use it? So you take the fruit, peel it. If you're going to put it in a mixie, you just do a whip, basically only 2 or 3 turns, and you stop it off. Then you strain it through a muslin or a fine cloth, and don't use the seeds. This is in case of jvara specifically, because then seeds are a little bit more heavy. So you put this, you squeeze out the pulp and the juice, and you can add a little bit of warm water, heat the whole thing mildly, indirectly, and this can be had along with aralu, battad aralu. In case of jwara, this would be a staple for you until you actually start feeling hungry. That's the first. Second is this you can also make into a tumbli kind of dish where you take either curd or buttermilk, you add the same kind of juice to it, nicely churn it. To that, add an ograne of jeeraka, little bit of mustard, your curry leaf, and if you want even a black chili is okay. So once you add all of that, this can be had along with food itself. In case you're having diarrhea or excessive, you've been passing loose stools for a long period of time along with a little burning sensation, in all of these conditions, this particular tumbli can be had. The third one is that if it is ideal not to have pomegranate milkshake at all, even if it is a madhura pom, because there is some amount of sourness in it, and that, as we already saw in the beginning, is viruddha, not to be eaten. So these are the ones where we went in detail. The rest, which I'm going to share now, maybe in the next 3 or 4 minutes, are much more faster because we don't have time. That is the point. I will see if possible. We will have one more session where more recipes or actual uses can be shared again. So anjira. This is your fig. It is also sweet. It is a little heavier. It is shita in nature and helps with vata pitta. Same as it has properties similar to draksha. So you can soak in water, macerate, have it. It'll help with all of your bleeding disorders also, painful urination also. If you're feeling very tired, this is one of the phala that will give you immediate, tripti and feeling as though you're nourished. So anjira is useful for that. Then jamun. Jamun is not so sweet per se. When you eat it, you yourself feel that more than the sweetness, it is that astringent and sour taste that is there in your tongue. It's lighter, and this is one of the fruits that is not snigdha, meaning it does not lubricate the body, it actually dries the body. So this is good for people who have diabetes. That is not an issue, but they should not consume it by adding salt. Normal people, you add salt to jamun and have, so that feeling on the tongue is not there. But if you add salt as a diabetic person, it will increase the amount of either inflammation or capacity of the body to, absorb whatever nutrition you're giving it. So to avoid that, if you have diabetes and you're planning to have jamun, do not add salt to it, have it as it is. This is very good even in case of krimi. You have worm infestations. This in smaller quantities at the beginning of a meal will help. And on a long period, consistently, it is not preferred to have jamun. Have it only when it is available seasonally, that too not every single day. Muskmelon and other melons. Melons, almost all of them are shita. Musk as well as watermelon, they are shita. There is one variety of watermelon, which either the yellow one, or if you take it little before it's fully ripe, the flesh will still be, easy to break and all. But if it's not completely ripe, it has something called kshara property, meaning internally it can scrape through the tissues. So all melons not to be consumed in a very high quantity. In a normal or a small basis in the beginning of a meal, and considering your agni, it'll be better to have this. In summers, of course, it is a go ahead to have muskmelon milkshakes or juices. All of that is okay. It will help reduce vata pitta, and it also gives you more bala. And muskmelon specifically, if you make a paste of it along with little curd and basin, you can apply it as a face pack. It actually helps with improving complexion. Apple. Apple common, based on the example also. Trying to make sure that when you get it, it's seasonal would be good. By nature, actually, apples have a layer of coating on top of it, which preserves it for a long period of time. But if you see that it is actually wax dipped and all, make sure at least you scrape it off before you have it. Apple is one fruit which is a little heavier to digest. Again, many people think it is okay to have it as such, but preferably not so. When you are not feeling too hungry, don't go for an apple, go for something else. Mangoes. Mangoes is actually a huge. I could talk 1 hour just about mangoes. We will not be able to do that today. But I would just mention few major points. Have mango only when it is ripe and fully made. Like it should be proper, like pakwa, and it should be properly sweet. If you're having unripe mangoes, the sour ones, you can make it along with some dish. Don't indulge too much of it as an upinkai, not to have it too much as a pickle. Ripe mango, it is balakara, it is brishya, as in it helps with even your sperm count quality. It's nourishing, it's very good for the body. Eat only during its season. And you can store peeled sun-dried mangoes, and that can be had even if you want to help with loosening out your motion also. Panaka is a very common thing. Raw arm is taken, you steam the whole thing, remove the peel, pulp then the rest of it, add it with nice cold water, little bit of pepper, little salt, sugar candy of course, and ela. All that you can add, make it into panaka. It's better to have this actually in the season changing between rainy and winter. In that phase when Agni goes down, there is also Vayu in the body. This will actually help with that. So you can have this in that particular season. Not so much in summer when this is totally available. Oranges, let's go with, okay. They are both amla as well as madura. They are sour and sweet. It's a little hot in nature, so it can increase a little bit of pitta in the body. A completely ripe but uncooked orange helps reduce vata more. If you cook it, as in you make it into either sabji or you can add it along with your, let us say, actually sabjis you can make out of oranges. We've had that. That can be used to reduce kapha pitta more than vata. And very sour oranges, preferably not to have because it's heavier to digest and it can cause loose stools. If you already suffer from issues of pitta, burning sensation, burning eyes, bleeding issues, not to have oranges regularly, even when in season. Lastly, we'll look at amla. Amla is one of those which has a whole lot of medicinal properties. We use it a lot in Aushadhi. On people who have diabetes, who are passing a whole lot of urine, that too very frequently, amla in your food is a good option to start with. You can make sar out of this and replace the tamarind, replace the kokum. Instead, amla is a good option. And so sar is one. Two is, of course, dried amla, which is either along with honey That is a good option, but not to have it with things that are hot. And again, dried amla, which has a little bit of salt, is also okay, but have it along with the food instead of a separate meal. Amla is one of those fruits, except for salt. It has all the other rasas. All pancha rasas are there in amla. And it is cooling on the body. Little bit drying also. So if you're having it, say, for a week, then I would suggest another 2 weeks you don't have to have continuously. Have it again for a week, skip out the next few days. So that would be our amla. I thought that was the last, sorry. Pear is again common. It is lighter than your apple actually, so this would be a better option. The sweet version, if you can get, which is buttery and soft, that's the best to have and lightest on your digestion. One recipe that I found, which was useful in a case where they had extreme amount of thirst and it could not be stopped, was the whole pear was steamed, boiled, and then peeled and then steam boiled. On top of it, a mild syrup of sugar was made and drizzled, and this was had for a meal itself. Like two pears were eaten, so that helped with that. You could have that along with little bit of ghee also if you have very good digestion. So that is also very helpful. Finally, what are our general rules? So it should not be Jantajushta. Currently, nobody is going to the farm and plucking the fruit themselves, washing, making sure, and then eating. You're getting it in the market. So for us currently, actually, if some animal, either a squirrel or something, is actually chewed on, it means that there is no pesticide and the animal is okay to eat it. So that would be good for us. But in general, what you're eating should not be Jantajushta. It should obviously not have krimi, worms, any other infestation. Try to make sure it's a seasonal fruit if possible, and if you have sources where they are not using fertilizers, pesticides, and you get organic sources, go for that. And even otherwise, washing it at least a few rounds or even soaking a little bit in salt water would help mitigate the effects of the chemicals that have been used. Apart from all of this, with all the general properties, you have to still see how is your body reacting to that fruit. So check with yourself. Once you eat it, how is your motion? How are you feeling overall? Is there any major change? Are you having bloating? Any discomfort? So if such a thing is there, you'll have to go back and check if the fruit has caused it or not, and based on that, make a decision. And finally, one thing I want to address is many times there are fruit salads. So they mix a whole lot of different fruit textures also. One or two is okay, but mixing more than four different types of fruits altogether actually causes a difficulty for your digestive system for your agni to actually process it. And they may have different kinds of variations in properties. So as bread, if you're eating a fruit, better to stick to one type for a day, go to another in the next meal, and not to keep on mixing all of it together. And I'm sorry I rushed through, but that was the only way to cover so much because Phalavarga is still not over. I couldn't finish all the different types, but you get an overall picture of how Ayurveda views it and what you can do to use the same fruits to maintain your lifestyle and body in a good way.
Thank you, Dr. Anandi. So, any questions you have about this topic? The session is open for
Namaste.
any section.
Namaste, doctor.
Namaste.
Hasida halasu is only the half of the gade, right? The undu mavu is the complete one. So there also it comes as eat it after the food, and in every occasion celebration, banana is given at the end of the banana leaf meal. So how do we really take that? Because it's been for years we have been followed that one elaki banana after having the meal is complete meal. So how do we take that? And also that undu mavu, even that is also a gade, that's the complete one. How do we understand this in terms of in the Ayurvedic perspective?
So it is actually Undu Mavu and Hasidu Halesu is a comparative thing. Comparison between Halesu and Mavu. When compared to jackfruit, mango is little lighter for digestion so that you can have it even after food. only consider your Agni Shakti, that is your digestion thing. If you are not having hunger at all, if you are having indigestion problem and all, and you are taking, you're considering this Gade Matu seriously and eating fruit after food, then it is not right, right? So it is the comparison between those two fruits, and it is they are mentioning hasidu halasu as a very important thing, because you cannot eat after food, you cannot eat jackfruit after food, you should not eat. So that is very important thing. Another one is undu mavu. So you may eat after food also, in case of if you have good digestion power. So it is not like you can always eat mango after having food, that too after having a heavy meal you can have mango also. That is not true. And we have to read between the lines also sometimes, so it is not like that. Then okay, about banana. See, in among banana varieties, there are several thousands of varieties if you see. So, among these bananas, there are certain varieties which are comparatively lighter for digestion. And for those who are having a constipation problem, and for those who are little weaker, muscle strength is not that good, or even all the dhatu nourishment level is not that good for them, it is fine to have banana after food, considering their Agni Shakti. Again, digestion capacity is very important. Consider that every time. It's not that every time you can have banana after food, or you cannot have banana. Never you ever you can have banana after food. You can have. And coming to the tradition part, or the culture where we get bananas served after our meal, that too in a function after a heavy meal. See, it might have come for different reasons. Could be convenient purpose also, because at the end, if we serve, they can have that in. It's not necessary to have it then only, right? So you can take it to home and you can have it whenever you are good to have it. So it's about convenience also. It's about some other practical purposes also. So it is not that everyone can eat banana or any time, but make sure that you consider your Agni Shakti, and at that particular day, at that particular meal time, then you
Yeah.
can have it.
Thank you, doctor. Thank you so much. And also reading between the lines for the many uh, followings that we do is essential. Thank you so much. And one last question is, uh, milkshakes are famous, but there is something called yogurt shakes also these days coming up. They mix the fruit with curd
Yes.
instead of milk. Is that correct process?
What do you say?
Like banana yogurt and apple yogurt, they say. But
So
mixing with milk only is prohibited in Ayurveda. I don't know about yogurt because I am
definitely
a
it's not the right
not
way
because
to use.
I am a person who cannot have milk, so I prefer yogurt. So although I don't go for it, when we go out or if it is available, if only it is available, because it is not even available like milkshakes, I try to taste it once or twice. But I want to know whether it is correct or not.
It's not the right way to eat fruits. Like you know the properties of curd, and you know the
Mhm.
properties, general properties of fruits, right? So
Yeah.
both of them together doesn't make a good combination. It is doing more harm than good. So it is not preferable to mix any fruits with curd except
Good.
one fruit. Can you guess that fruit?
Pomegranate.
Yes, it can be used along with curds, and not in a like large quantities, maybe a little, and once in a while it's okay to have with curd. Otherwise, it's not good to mix fruits with curds.
So that is the same reason why we have pomegranate in the curd rice that is available, not any other fruit. I think so.
Yes, yes, and whenever they have certain conditions, like sometimes people will have more stool frequency, like immediately after having food, or sometimes we call vata jati sara, that is loose stools happening because of vata dosha predominantly, and they don't have ajirna or indigestion condition. Then we prefer them to have curd rice. That too, along with these little of pomegranate seeds, will help improve their condition.
Thank you, doctor.
Yes. So we have questions in the chat box too. What about banana ryan, where we add milk, curds, sugar, ghee? What is that? Uh, are you talking about Panchamrita, the tirtha we get as prasada in pujas? So if it is about that, yes, it is a, the combination looks like a Viruddha combination, of course, but it is not a daily food or something that is consumed every day and in large quantities. It is given as a Tirtha Prasada. You know how much the quantity they are giving. Even if you want, we don't get it in larger quantities, and we are not supposed to have it in larger quantities. And also, it is not consumed every day. And the combination of all these five things is a very particular combination, and we are having it on puja day, where we are doing vrata, means we are not having any food until the vrata is over, and the first thing we are taking it as a prasada in very small quantity, and after that we are, on that day we are not having too heavy or two different kinds of food actually originally. So this combination is not a bad thing on those days where we are doing langhana, that is upavasa, physical upavasa we are doing, and we are taking in very little quantity. Then it is not doing any harm. But if you consume it on every day to day basis, or in different measurements, or in different recipes, ತೀರ್ಥದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಾಕ್ತಾರೆ ಆದರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಫುಡ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾಕೆ ಹಾಕಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಬೇರೆ ಫುಡ್ಡಲ್ಲೂ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಶುರು ಮಾಡಿದರೆ, then it is going to be very harmful. Of course, nowadays there are many food trends called overnight yogurt or overnight oats and all, wherein they use curd also, honey also, and all these are kept refrigerated overnight, and then the morning they are using it as a breakfast, and this is the worst combination ever. You can have it for breakfast, and they're thinking they are having a healthy meal, healthiest meal, and they're expecting them to be healthy forever. So it's not like an amrita you are having. It's a wrong food trend that is currently happening. Probably it might suit in different mm, countries, wherein in different temperature or climatic conditions probably, but not for us. Another question we have from Spurana: Elaki banana are the lagu variety of all, so if at all one has banana after food, that only be fully ripe Elaki banana rasayana is viruddha. Okay, so yes, Elaki variety of banana is considered as lagu in traditional thing. So Elaki balehannu we can have it after food. Of course, we need to consider our that day's appetite, hunger, digestion, everything, and then we can have it. And it is not that everyone should have Elaki balehannu after a meal. then only the meal is complete. It is not true for everyone. Okay, it's not a mandatory rule that everyone should have banana. Kapha prakriti person, one who is obese, one who has got diabetes, that too no work, physical work at all, then that rule doesn't apply there. They should not eat banana after food, especially. So this is not a general rule. Of course, in when it comes to food, there is no standard rule that applies to everyone in the world. Banana rasana is viruddhana. Of course, if you have it along with milk, curd, everything mixed together, uh, just we saw an example of prasada, panchamrita prasada, then it is going to be viruddha if you take it every time or frequently. Usually, raw grapes will be mixed in curd rice. Is it okay? It is not that okay. If it is dried grapes, it is okay. Raw grapes, it is if it is already sour and your curd rice is also sour, then you might expect little indigestion, pitta vriddhi, that is exaggeration of pitta in your body, making you have symptoms like chest burn or indigestion kind of thing. So dry grapes is okay, but not the raw grapes. Okay, so Spurana was giving the information about Elaki banana and not a question. Fine. Any other questions? Do
Doctor,
you?
one question.
Yes.
Eating citrus fruits on empty stomach is quite irritating. So, is that fine or
Yes.
especially oranges?
Yes. So it happens with for multiple reasons. One, it could be the sour fruit. The variety which you are eating could be the most sour variety. Second one is your body nature belonging to Pitta Prakriti or Vata Prakriti. If you have too much of Pitta inside your body, either by Prakriti or Vikriti, then it is going to cause irritation. All these sour food, or especially these citrus fruits, is going to cause more irritation in your stomach and leading to these kind of symptoms. So it is better to avoid taking citrus fruits on empty stomach for those person. And if you need to take those citrus fruits, for them, you can have it just after food, but make sure that you are not having full meals and complete till throat, and then you are having citrus fruits after food, that too much of quantity. Avoid those mistakes. So you can have a light meal and then you can have citrus fruits, and make sure to select the sweet variety of citrus fruits. So avoid which is too much sour.
Okay, doctor,
Doc,
thank you.
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಡೌಟ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಈ ಆಯುರ್ವೇದ ಕ್ಲಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದರೆ ವರ್ಕ್ಶಾಪಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ ಈ ಥರ ಊಟ ಅಂದರೆ ಈ ದೊಡ್ಡವ್ರು ಆಗ್ತಾ ಅಂದರೆ ದೇ ಆರ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಟು ಮೆನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರೇಟ್ ಸೂನ್ ಅಂದರೆ ದೋ ಫಾರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ what you do is like after their breakfast or after their first meal of the day ಒಂದು 1 hour ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪೊಮೊಗ್ರನೇಟ್ ಕೊಡಿ ಸೊ ದಟ್ ಇಟ್ ವಿಲ್ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ ದೆಮ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿರೋ ಥರ ನಂಗೆ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ
1 hour ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕೊಡಿ ಅಂತ
ಪೊಮೊಗ್ರನೇಟ್ ಹಾ ತಿಂದ್ರೆ ಅದ್ರ ಕೆಲಸ ಅದ್ ಮಾಡತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ ತರ ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ.
it's not like maybe you must have recorded it in a different way. It's
ಓಕೆ.
not like after having food 1 hour ಆದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಕೊಡಿ and it helps. And what help it does, do you remember?
I guess it's for those menstruating women ಅಂದ್ರೆ menarche like before they attain their first periods like ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಿಂಪ್ಟಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಶೋ ಆಗತ್ತಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ ದೋಸ್ ಗರ್ಲ್ಸ್ ಸೊ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದೇರ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಮೀಲ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಡೇ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ಒಂದು 1 hour ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಪೊಮೊಗ್ರನೇಟ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಒಳ್ಳೇದು ಅಂತ ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ ವಿ ರೆಡ್ ಸಮ್ವೇರ್ ಆರ್ ತಪ್ಪು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀನಾ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ.
ಒಂದ್ಸಲ ಮತ್ತೆ ನೀವು ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದ ಅದು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಸಿಕ್ತು ಅಂತ ಸೋರ್ಸ್ ನೋಡಿ, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಆಸ್ ಫಾರ್ ಆಸ್ I know we haven't mentioned this kind of thing.
Okay.
Neither this pomegranate is directly helpful in that kind of condition, nor this type of way of taking that pomegranate after 1 hour of meals. uh, we would have never told this information, so please check the
Okay,
source of
okay,
information.
okay, doctor. So I have got it wrong. So any fruit we take ಅದು before our first meal of the day ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಗ್ನಿ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿರ್ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ತಗೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ? Even if it is 1 or 2 pieces ಅಷ್ಟು ಸಾಕು ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Yes.
Okay, doctor. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
Hello, ma'am.
Yes. Hey.
Ma'am, actually, in our daily routine, we have a habit of, following Ekadashi.
Yes.
So on the whole day, we will be in fasting with not even a drop of water we will take.
Okay.
So at the end of the day, by 7 o'clock, we will take a big bowl of fruits.
Okay.
Usually, we will include three types of fruits. In that, watermelon will be our main course. Like if we take in a normal meal, like that, we will take watermelon as a one big bowl of watermelon we will take, because that fills us and it will be helpful for us until next day morning.
Okay.
Is that a good habit, ma'am?
One thing.
Hmm.
So whenever we do fasting, how we are supposed to end that fasting is, Ayurveda says 3 rules. Okay, for any food that we are having soon after
Yes, ma'am.
fasting should be very light in nature, laghu. It should be very light in nature, easy for digestion. Next, it should be vatahara. That is, it should contain at least little amount of ghee or butter or some kind of good fat. And it should be ushna, because we are having food after fasting, and our entire digestion process is waiting for to receive the food. And if we put cold, very cold nature food item, then it might suppress the digestion capacity. So these three things should be considered while ending our fasting. So when we are ending our fasting with fruits, it's okay. Sometimes it's okay for some people, in some seasons it's okay. But please do tell us, are you going to get watermelon throughout the year? Throughout the year you're going
Actually, now we will get, as you mentioned, throughout the year we will get, but it will not be a good quality.
Yes.
Uh,
That is for sure. So don't consider it as a good option throughout the year. Second one is watermelon. We think Dr. Anandi also mentioned, whenever we eat fruits, even if we have complete bowl of fruits, we don't feel it heavy. Physically, we don't feel it heavy in our stomach. But it is not about physically weighing the heaviness after eating. It's about how much time it takes to get digested completely, and nutrients getting absorbed inside our intestine. So considering these parameters, the food is categorized as heavy for digestion or light for digestion. So in among these, when we consider fruits are generally, there are two varieties. One is lighter for digestion, one is heavier for digestion. So watermelon is again belongs to heavier for digestion. Of course, we feel light physically after even having one entire small watermelon completely. We don't feel it as heavy inside our stomach, but it is heavy for digestion. Second thing, it is very cool in nature. Even the touch of it is very cool. So soon after fasting for several hours, if you are taking watermelon, then it is definitely going to hamper your digestion. Your digestion is already weak and it needs some kind of support to regain its strength. So if you eat watermelon every time you fast, then it is going to definitely cause certain problems for your digestion capacity. It might make you get slower metabolism rate, um, in a with a long term practice of such kind of food soon after your fasting. So eating fruits, okay, if you have good uh, amount of hunger soon after your fasting. If some people will get more hungry, for them having certain fruits, uh, probably banana, probably apple, could be helpful for them. But for some people, after fasting they feel very weak digestion capacity, they don't feel that much hungry even if one piece of apple could satisfy them. So in that case, eating a lot of fruits, that too mixed variety of fruits, may not help for their digestion to improve. So do consider these uh, points before you end your fasting.
Thank you, ma'am.
So
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ನೀವು ಊಟಕ್ಕೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಅಂತ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಫುಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಿ. ಸೊ ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟು ರಾತ್ರಿ ಡಿನ್ನರ್ ಟೈಮಲ್ಲೂ ತಿನ್ಬೋದಾ ಅಥವಾ?
ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ ನೀವು ಕೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು?
ಹಾಂ, ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್.
ಓಕೆ. ರಾತ್ರಿ ಟೈಮ್ ತಿನ್ನಬಾರ್ದು ಅನ್ನೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಕೆಲವೊಂದು ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಏನಂದರೆ, ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಗಾಟ್ ಪ್ರೋ ದೋಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ಪ್ರೋನ್ ಫಾರ್ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸೈನಸೈಟಿಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಅಲರ್ಜಿ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ಅಥವಾ ಕಫ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯವರು ಇದ್ದಾರೆ, ಬೇಗ ಶೀತ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಮೈಗೆ ಅಂತ ಇರೋರು, ಆದಷ್ಟು ಆಫ್ಟರ್ 6 o'clock, ಅಂದರೆ ಸೂರ್ಯ ಸೂರ್ಯಾಸ್ತ ಆದಮೇಲೆ, ಸನ್ಸೆಟ್ ಆದಮೇಲೆ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ನ ತಗೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದಷ್ಟು ಅವರ ಈ ನೇಚರಿಗೆ ಹೆಲ್ಪ್ಫುಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಇನ್ನು ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಬೇಗ ಮೈ ಉಷ್ಣ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೇ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಒಬೀಸ್, ನಾಟ್ ಕಫ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿ, ಪಿತ್ತ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯವರು ಅಥವಾ ವಾತ ಪ್ರಕೃತಿಯವರು, ಅಲರ್ಜಿಕ್ ಈ ಥರ ರೈನೈಟಿಸ್ ಅಥವಾ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್ ಆಗೋದು ಇಲ್ಲದೇ ಇರೋರು, ದೇ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಈವನ್ ಡ್ಯೂರಿಂಗ್ ನೈಟ್, ಕನ್ಸಿಡ್ರಿಂಗ್ ದೇರ್ ಅಗೇನ್ ಅಗ್ನಿಶಕ್ತಿ, ಅವರ ಹಸಿವು ಎಷ್ಟಿದೆ, ದೆನ್ ಜೀರ್ಣ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆಯಾ ಇಲ್ವಾ, ಇದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿಕೊಂಡು ರಾತ್ರಿ ತಗೊಳ್ಬಹುದು. ನಾಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್, ಮೇ ಬಿ ಸಮ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್, ಸೀಸನಲ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ವಿಚ್ ಆರ್ ಲೈಟರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಡೈಜೆಷನ್.
ಓಕೆ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್. ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ಗೂ
Doctor,
ಏನು ರೆಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
ಸೇಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ಸೇಮ್ ಅಪ್ಲೈಸ್ ಟು
ಓಕೆ.
ಬ್ರೇಕ್ಫಾಸ್ಟ್.
ಹಾಂ ಹಾಂ.
Doctor, one last thing. Ivaga, the method which they're using to grow the fruits, it's very very bad these days. So considering all this, should we even have fruits? Like, andre on at least on daily basis, bed alva, weekly, what twice should do alva, even if you're having it. ಬೇರೆ ವಿಧಿನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ತಿನ್ಬೇಕು, ಶಕ್ತಿ ಬರಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಆ ಥರ.
Sorry, can you come again with your question?
Andre, yeah, what I'm saying is the way they produce these fruits are very bad, like they're very harmful, with a lot of chemicals and all that. So, on a daily basis, fruits ತಿನ್ಲೇಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಬೆಟರ್ ಟು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಫ್ರೂಟ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಗುಡ್, ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಅದೇನ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಗ್ರೋ ಆದ್ರೆ ಏನು ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ, ಹೆಂಗು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಒಳ್ಳೇದಾದ್ರೂ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂತ ತಿನ್ನೋದಾ?
Yes, actually, the story which I started in the beginning about Apple, the conclusion of that story is something that we are going to discuss now, and maybe you'll get answer for your question too in that part of the story. So, in that story, after asking him from where these apples we are getting even after the season, he answered in a very confusing way, because he was not sure about how many pesticides or how many uh, chemicals they are going to use to make it last longer. So apples, of course, it is one of the fruit which we can store for a longer time, but it is only during the winter season. Like, they grow, we get apples in the season of September, October, November, these season. And if we can store it in a good way, the traditional way, in colder areas like Himachal Pradesh and those areas, they can store it for at least 2 months. That's what he said. And after that, we are getting apples throughout the year, means it is chemically stored, it is treated with certain chemicals, and it is stored. And before that, to get a good variety or good quality of apples which stays longer and which retains its color when stored for longer time, they add at least 20 to 21 chemicals, different chemicals at different stage of the growth. So soon this January end, after the snowfall and all is gone, then they will start chemical treatment for those plants. So after that, once in a month, every time they'll add chemicals over the plant to the roots also, to get good produce, and then color also, and for color one many different chemicals, and for good size of apples they'll add many different varieties of chemicals, and things goes on like this. So the in the market, the beautiful apple which is very red in color, good size, and looking very healthy, and even after cutting we get a crisp apple, then that means he only told it is not a natural apple. In fact, it would have gone through different levels of chemical treatment to become that good looking apple, because it is going to sell for very expensive rates, and it is going to be there in market for very long time, almost throughout the year. So soon after this conversation, I talked to one of our volunteer who is from Himachal Pradesh itself. His native is Himachal Pradesh. So when we were having discussion about this thing, he also told, we never eat such kind of apple, red, beautiful looking, good size well apple. We don't eat them. We just know which tree has got less chemical treated. We keep one or two trees for our home purpose, so that we can have only organic apple. Organic in the sense, not that trend wala organic, only for namesake. It is like it is not treated with any chemicals, uh, so that the apple doesn't look like the beautiful red apple that we get in the market. It will be little having little yellowish tints and little dull in color, and it doesn't look in all the apples having similar size. It doesn't look like that. Different apple will have different size, and little bit here and there dents will be there, and those kind of apples only we eat. Other things, all other trees are meant for commercial purpose, and they are distributed throughout the year. So this was one of the most dreadful realization for all of us, that whatever we are thinking behind these food trends. So if we eat apple a day, we can keep doctors away. So this particular sentence, or uh, whatever we are following as a food trend, some people now we get as patients, they say, I only eat fruits for my breakfast. I cut down all my carbs by adding fruits. I cut down all fat by adding fruits, different fruits, and in almost all their recipes, apple will be there. So they consider it as very good, healthy food, which must be included. So they buy apple from malls or some expensive stores, or from online itself, so that they get good quality of apples, good looking apples throughout the year. So don't fall prey for such trends, food trends, or fears that are associated with those food trends. Like if you don't eat apple for the South Indian people. If you don't eat apple, you won't get any nutrients. That is not true. If you eat guava, which is grown here, see locally available fruits, it is enough for you. So it is enough for us who are who are growing here. So that is the food concept that we need to develop and that we need to pass on to our next generation also. It's not like only the packaged that comes in a good packing of fruits. That is not the healthiest food that we need to, that everyone should eat every day. So things like this can make us fools who are going behind blindly behind these food trends. So this is the lesson that we all need to learn, that before consuming anything or before following any food trends, please do consider every possible thing around that food and then only follow that. It's not that we should be scared of eating food. We should be scared of eating apples from now on. It's okay to have apples once in a while for us in South India, for South Indian people. It's okay to have apples whenever we have good appetite and we get from a known source if possible. It's not like we should never buy apples or we should never buy such exotic fruits which are not grown locally. It's okay to have it once in a while, but don't follow the trends blindly. So with this message, we are moving to the next session. It's about parenting. So without much introduction, I'll hand over the session to Dr. Prashant Gokhale so that he can share his insights about parenting topic.
Namaste everyone. So the topic is about parenting. Of course, parenting. This topic is not a topic which can be covered in just 40 minutes. So we have kept this topic as a series of topic, and today's topic is just an introduction to the parenting. So in future, every month we will be having separate subtopics on the major main topic, that is parenting. But before starting, I just wanted to tell you why we thought of including this topic here. I'll just share three incidences of my clinical practice. First one, about 6 months back, I got an opportunity to speak to a group of senior citizens. One charitable organization, they held a special program for senior citizens attending or the problems of senior citizens in Ayurveda. Of course, everyone knows the senior citizens, most of the senior citizens, they have the problems like the pain in knee joints, etc. Right? Am I audible? Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Very much.
So, around 50 to 60 senior citizens, especially the couples, they were there in that session. uh, Instead of going on routine, asking the routine problems which comes in the age of 60 and 60 plus, that is pain all over the joints, low back pain, problem of constipation, sleeplessness, etc., So everyone knows these are the problems, age related problems. I just wanted to discuss something else which is more important than these things. So I was just inquiring all of them that about their family background, everything, who are all the family members right now, um, etc. So at that time, finally I came to know that most of them, about 80% of the couples, the children, they were outside. Only the age old couple stays at the home, and their children, especially the daughters, they were married, living in different cities. The son, most of the families outside, some are abroad, some are in different cities. And what is the problem? While discussing the problem, I could see the tears and a feel of dissatisfaction in their mind. What has happened is totally they were feeling loneliness. They were feeling loneliness. Because of that, many of them were suffering with loss of appetite, mood swings, everything. The children, they used to come to their home once in a year, maybe for the Diwali festival. Of course, those who are residing in US and different countries, it is not possible for them to come frequently to their home, right? So once in a year they come, stay for a month, but even in that 1 month, they have their own childhood friends, they want to meet them, then college friends, and many they are working in different places, they want to meet them. And of course, and they come as a family, so they want to spend some time in some different picnic places in their native places. So hardly one week they get time fully with the family. So that feel of uh, not satisfied with the behavior of their children. Now we spent all these years looking after our kids, but now, of course, we are happy that they are living good in their, and they are happy, but still now we feel that we can't go there, we can't go US now in this age. So now the problem, I just asked them one question. Okay, this is fine, what you are telling, everything is correct. But when they were kids, studying in their lower primary or higher education, etc., who are the persons who uh, motivated them, or who saw a seed of higher education, getting job, good package, going abroad, everything, isn't it? It is you only, and your consistent effort that they should. Of course, it's a very good sign that your intention was to make them motivate to read, study well, get a good job, everything. But as they grown, when they put everything on study, of course they got good college, then good package in their in their profession, then they got a chance to go to abroad, and now they won't, they definitely will not miss the chance, right? But all this started when they were kids, and at that time it was the parents who really supported for each and everything. This was the one incident. Let me tell you another incident where a 35-year-old female came to the clinic with the clinical complaints of lots of health issues like burning sensation in the chest, vomiting sensation, sometimes actual vomiting, severe headache, migraine headache, sudden mood swings, disturbance in the menstruation, etc. Again, when the history was taken, she was a software engineer. She was earlier working in a very reputed software company with a very good package. Both husband and wife were software engineers, having two kids, one girl and one boy. They shifted from Bengaluru to Mysuru just because here they found a school in Mysuru which was completely different from the all other routine schools. They find something different. The teaching methodology, everything was completely different. So they wanted to join their kids to that school. That's why she left the job. They came to Bangalore, and now husband is working in Bengaluru, and only in weekends he comes to Mysore, and the wife is looking after the kids. Now wife is having all these problems. So as a all routine and other things, when history was taken gradually, then uh, uh, I came to know that she is not actually happy with the decision, because she is very intelligent, and she is missing that her profession. Now in a corner there is a feel that because of this I miss something. Then I just asked, why did you left your job and come to Mysore? ಏನ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರೆ, ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿ ನಾವು ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಲ್ವಾ, ನಾವು ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೋಸ್ಕರ ಅಷ್ಟು ಮಾಡಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ವಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ ಅ ಗುಡ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು. This was the second incident. Then one more third incident, let me tell you. Around a second PU girl, she came to clinic with the parents. Both the parents are doctors, very reputed doctors in the society. The problem with that girl is again repeated pain in abdomen, loss of appetite, weakness, sleeplessness, everything. Now she is in second PUC. Now parents are worried because she has to write the second PU examination, which is a most important milestone in her life. She is a very 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 intelligent girl. Suddenly they noticed that since almost 1 year, she becomes suddenly silent, not mingling with the parents, not too many friends, always reading. She's good at studies, and this problem she is having almost since 1.5 year, but it was very mild, and day by day it is getting worsening, and um, they did everything possible. All the tests were done, all medication, psychotherapy, psychiatrist, everything was done. Then they just wanted to try Ayurveda. So then again in this case, when proper history was taken, what I understood was, as per their version, this girl was very very active and attached to the parents. During COVID, what happened was, both husband and wife, the doctors, they were working in the hospitals, and husband is a government doctor, wife working in a private hospital. Because of this COVID scenario, what has happened, every day they had to work in the hospital, so they were very much worried about the girl. During till that, every night the girl used to sleep with the parents, and every time they used to have the dinner together, breakfast together. Suddenly, because of this COVID, what happened, they decided that, what if this some we carry the infection with us. So they decided that the girl should stay in a different room, and every day the food will be given to that room. Only she can talk to her parents from far distance. She cannot come to downstairs. She always has to stay in upstairs that room, and she has to sleep there only. And she had grandmother, so they are more susceptible for the infections. So the parents decided to send her to his brother's house. So now the girl, she completely become alone in that room. No grandmother to whom she was very much attached to. The parents were busy because of COVID time, always in the hospital. They used to come to the home only during the night, but even at that time she can talk to the parents only from far distance. This continued till that COVID wave was completely gone. And of course there was no school, nothing, only mobile, um, online classes, etc. And after that she completely become addicted to the mobile phones. Now COVID went, everything become normal. Now they are calling the girl to come down and stay with them, but she is not ready. Even now she stays in that room and she is not ready to, makes completely her behavior gets changed. Now they are complaining that she is not mingling with those, she is not talking to her friends too much. No one comes, no, none of her friends come to home, she don't go to any of her friends home, she don't talk to us much. If we ask any questions, she will go give only answer to that question, that's all. So this is the third scenario. And after that, when I separately inquired the child, I got some more information that every time the parents send the girl to the school in a car, the driver is there. So she is not allowed to use the bicycle also, two wheeler also. At the times of school, they will drop, and immediately after school, they will pick up. Over caring, over protective. I don't want this, I don't want this kind of over protection, nothing. I want to go in a city bus one day, I want to go out with friends one day. It is not that their parents are not loving, more they love more. If she wishes to go somewhere, they will carry her in a car, in a AC car, etc. Now in all these three scenarios, in one condition, the parents are almost 60 plus and their parenting almost done. Now they have a feeling of dissatisfaction. In second scenario, the parent, she sacrificed, she did sacrifice for the children, but she is not happy. In third thing, the child is getting everything what it wants, but still she is not happy because the parents are overprotective. So seeing all these things, now if we try to discuss who who is wrong here, right? If we see, none of them are wrong actually. Intention of whether that senior citizen parents or this 36 years mother or this second PUC girl, all are not completely wrong. Everyone are right in their own perspective. But still, the problem is there in spite of that. Then why this problem happened? This is because of the parenting, the truth and myths of this parenting. What many a times what happens, what actually parenting means, we have certain notions in our mind, and what we feel this is the right method of parenting, we feel that, and we feel this is the right one, and we go ahead, right? So what exactly the parenting is, we should, until and unless we should know, we cannot become a good parents. Now before knowing what exactly the parenting is, Let us just have few question and answer session. Is it okay? Yes. Okay. Now my first question is, uh, I think there are three different age group people here. One almost having their grandchildren, another group maybe having their children, and some other group either just married or expecting, etc. Now the first question is, there is a difference between, see, when we were children and now we are looking at our kids. What is the difference you see in the kids of present day and when you were kid? ಯಾರು ಬೇಕಾದರೂ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದು. ನಾವು ಸಣ್ಣವರಿದ್ದಾಗಿಂದು ಈಗಲೂ ನಮ್ಗೆ ನೆನಪಿದೆ. ನಾವು ಹೀಗೆ ಇದ್ವಿ. ಅಯ್ಯೋ, ಈಗಿನ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ, ಅವ್ರು ಹೀಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವಾಗಕ್ಕೂ ಇವಾಗಕ್ಕೂ ಏನು ವ್ಯತ್ಯಾಸ? ಎಸ್, ಪಲ್ಲವಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬೋದಾ? ಪಲ್ಲವಿ ಅವರು ಅಥವಾ ಲಕ್ಷ್ಮೀ ಕುಮಾರ್, ಎನಿವನ್?
One general thing I noticed, ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ ದೊಡ್ಡವರು ಅಪ್ಪ ಅಮ್ಮ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಅಥವಾ ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಭಯ ಭಕ್ತಿ. ಹೇಗಂದ್ರೆ ಹಂಗ್ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಎದುರಿಗೆ ನಾವು.
ಸೇಮ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್, ಐ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಾಂಟೆಡ್ ಟು ಸೇ ದ ಸೇಮ್ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್. ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದೇನೆ.
ಓಕೆ, ಎಸ್.
ಸೊ ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಏನೇ ಹೇಳಿ
ಭಯಾನೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಇವಾಗ ಇರೋ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ. ಏನ್ ಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರು ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಏನ್ ಬೇಕೋ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಯಾರೇನ್ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ಅಷ್ಟೇ.
ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್.
ಆಮೇಲೆ ದೊಡ್ಡವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದು ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ಕಷ್ಟನೋ ಸುಖನೋ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ. ನಾವ್ ಎದುರು ಏನು ಕೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಿದು, ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಹೇಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಅಥವಾ ನಾನ್ ಮಾರ್ಕೆಟ್ಗೆ ನಾನೇ ಯಾಕೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ವಾ, ಈ ತರ ನಾವೇನು ಪ್ರಶ್ನೆ ಕೇಳ್ತಾ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ಇವಾಗ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ನಾವ್ ಇವಾಗ ಜವಾಬು ಉತ್ತರ ಕೊಡೋ ಕಾಲ ಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಪರಿಸ್ಥಿತಿ.
Exactly.
Hello.
Yes. Hello. Yeah.
Yeah. I have one request. Can you talk in English, because we don't know the South Indian language and we are here to get the information. So, is it possible?
Just the question is same. What is the difference you see in kids of present day and when you were kids?
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for explaining.
Namaste. So
Yes,
I
namaste.
see a different pattern. So what I have observed is, so I'm a mother of two kids, and what I have observed is, so that it's a cycle. So my cousin, she is 2 years elder to me, and she had a set of parents who believed in gentle parenting. So the parents were very gentle, and the children were like very demanding. And as everyone was sharing, they would ask questions. It's not like they are good, bad, or anything. It's like everybody is same. The way they are, so they would ask questions. They will have their own opinions, and their choices were given importance and everything. While in my house, it was opposite. So it's just the obedient, the listening kind of thing. So, and then now when they have children, they have become like my parents. So it's like their children should be completely obedient, should listen to everything. And then in my side, I have seen the other way. So I want to be a gentler parent. Let my children ask questions, let them have opinions, let them have choices. So I think I don't know how their kids are going to be. So I say it's a cyclical pattern where, if a parent is gentle, the children will be different. And again, they have grown up with their choices and their opinions. So they want their kids also to be the way. Uh, I'm seeing that kind of a cyclical pattern in many families.
Okay. And now one more question. Of course, now just we saw about the kids, right? Now at those times we saw our parents, and now we are in the stage of parents, right? What is the difference that you see in your parents and now you becoming a parent?
Back then we had some amount of poverty. Andre, if we want something, we'll ask them. We need to wait for a week to get it and all that. Ivaga, there's nothing. They want it immediately. The next minute it should be there at home. Either we go and buy in a shop or we order it online. ಏನಾದ್ರೂ ಒಂದು ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕಷ್ಟೇ, ಸಿಕ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಕೈಗೆ ಒಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ.
Yes.
Namaste, sir.
Namaste.
So nowadays the exposure for children is too much. The kind of exposure that we got when we were kids was kind of less. And also, my parents never took me outside to buy anything except for clothes. If they have to buy anything it could be school accessories or games, anything, they used to go buy and give it to us. But now, because of the mall and the supermarket kind of culture, children are excited about everything what they see. So they want everything, and they don't have because of the mind, the nature of mind, they want to experience everything. And the resources also are more, with the exposure of TV, mobile, and even the surroundings. Even if I don't want to get my kid that particular thing, because they go to school, they go to park, we go outside, they see that with the other kids and they want it. So the kind of exposure also is putting the children into that kind of pressure that they want to have that thing, either maybe for a small minimum amount of time, but they want to own it for themselves,
Yeah.
at least for that minimum number of that time. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, we were one among 5 kids. Like even my cousins were considered kids only. So we were one among 5 or 7 kids in the home, like in the house. So what used to happen? The amount of attention we used to get, or the amount of ಎಲ್ರಿಗೂ ಒಂದೇ treatment ಅಷ್ಟೇ. So ಇವಾಗ there's only one kid in the house or maximum two. So everything is so concentrated. ಎಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ full ಹಂಗೆ the affection, the attention, everything is like overflowing on them. So even parents side we do a mistake, like we give a lot of attention. ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಗ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಒಳ್ಳೇದೇ ಆಗ್ಬೇಕು. ಸೊ ಅದೆಲ್ಲ ತುಂಬಾ ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಅದೆಲ್ಲ it's happening. So yeah.
We
And
don't
then-
allow them to take risk. That's what you mean to say. ಏನು ಹಾರ್ಡ್ಶಿಪ್ ಆಗ್ಬಾರ್ದು ಅವರಿಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅಲ್ವಾ?
Yeah, some I've seen some parents, they don't even let them fall on the ground. ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಅವ್ರು ಬೀಳಕ್ ಮುಂಚೆನೆ ಹಿಡಿದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಹಿಂದೆ ಕೈಯಿಂದ. So they don't fall at all. So
ಅಂಡ್ ಹಿಂದಿನ ಕಾಲದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಟೈಮ್ ಇತ್ತು ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ವರ್ಕ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ 9 to 5 ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನೈಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ಸ್ ಫ್ರೀ ಆಗಿರ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹರಟೆ ಹೊಡಿಯೋದು, ಮಾತಾಡೋದು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಟೈಮ್ ಸ್ಪೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಬಟ್ ಇವಾಗ ನಾವು ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ನಾನು ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಮೋಸ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ವರ್ಕ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ಬ್ಯುಸಿ ಆಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಬಟ್ ನಾವೂ ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಮ ಚಿಲ್ಡ್ರನ್ನು ಒಂದಾದ್ಮೇಲೆ ಒಂದು ಅವರೇನೆ ಬ್ಯುಸಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅಂದರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ ರಿಲ್ಯಾಕ್ಸೇಷನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಕಂಪೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ.
Okay.
And doctor, one more thing I want to add. There's something called me time which is going on these days. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ನಮ್ಗೆಲ್ಲ me time ಬೇಕು. ನಮಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
ನಾವು ಆ ಶಬ್ದನೂ ಕೇಳಿಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತೂ ಇರಲಿಲ್ಲ.
ಇವಾಗ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತು ನಾವು ಮೊಬೈಲ್ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ನಮಗ್ ಬೇಕಾಗಿರೋ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಟಿವಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕು, ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯಾಗಿ ಇರ್ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ತಿದೆ. ಲೈಕ್ ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ದಿ ಹೌಸ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡ್ ವರ್ಕ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಕೇರ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕಿಡ್, ವಿ ನೀಡ್ ಆರ್ ಓನ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಂತ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ನ್ಯೂ ಟ್ರೆಂಡ್ ಇಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪನಿಂಗ್, ಇನ್ಕ್ಲೂಡಿಂಗ್ ಮೀ. ನನಗೂ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ ಅಯ್ಯೋ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಹೊತ್ತು ಯಾರು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಕೂತ್ಕೋಬೇಕು ನೆಮ್ಮದಿಯಾಗಿ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ
Yeah. Okay. One more question. Do you feel kids of these days are lucky than olden days?
No.
No? Okay. Any other opinions you can also share?
ನೋ
ಅಂತ
ಡಾಕ್ಟರ್,
ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು.
ಇಲ್ಲ, ಖಂಡಿತವಾಗ್ಲೂ ಅವ್ರು ಲಕ್ಕಿ ಇಲ್ಲ ಫಾರ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್, ಬಟ್ ಲಕ್ಕಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಫಾರ್ ಅದರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ನಾವು ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗದೇ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಅವರು ಈಸಿಯಾಗಿ ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಬಟ್ ನಾವು ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದನ್ನ ಅವರಿಗೆ ನಾವು ರೂಪಿಸೋಕ್ಕೆ ಕೂಡ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. ದ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಮನಃಶಾಂತಿ, ಸ್ಪೆಂಡಿಂಗ್ ಟೈಮ್ ವಿತ್ ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್, ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಹೋದಾಗ ಹೌ ದ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಅಟ್ ಹೋಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಬಿ, ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಾಗಲಿ, ನಾಟ್ ಗೋಯಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿವೇರ್ ಬಟ್ ಸಿಟ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ಲೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಸರ್ಟನ್ ಗೇಮ್ಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ವೆನ್ ಕರೆಂಟ್ ಗೋಸ್ ಆಫ್. ಆ ಥರದ್ದು ಯಾವುದೇ ಸಿಚುವೇಶನ್ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆಚೆ ಕಡೆ ಹೋಗಿ ಆಟ ಆಡೋದು, ಅವರೇ ಫ್ರೆಂಡ್ಸ್ ಜೊತೆ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಕಟ್ಕೊಂಡು ಗೇಮ್ಸ್ ಆಡೋದು, ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಿಸ್ಡ್ ಔಟ್
But don't you think that on those days, going to the school and after school, there was no enough transportation facility. Because of that, when they reach home, it will become almost 6 o'clock. And nowadays, immediately after the school, lots of other options, like they can go to music class, sports classes, some drawing classes, painting classes, dance, some all these things. But on those days, going to the school and coming back to the school used to about 4 to 5 kilometers away from the home. Because of that, only going to school and coming back to school, no extracurricular activities.
ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ
I would
ನಾವ್
like to
ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದನ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕಾಗ್ತಾ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಅವ್ರು ಎಂಜಾಯ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ರೇವ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ಇಟ್ ಆರ್ ವಿ
Yeah.
ಡಿಂಟ್ ಇವನ್ ನೋ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇಟ್. ಬೋತ್
I
I
would
would
like
like
to
to add one point here. Actually, ಇವಾಗಿನ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೋರ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಫೈನ್ಡ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮೋರ್ ಆಫ್ ಮೆಕ್ಯಾನಿಕಲ್ ವೇ ಆಫ್ ಇದಾದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ಈ ಟೈಮ್ ಟೇಬಲ್ ಇದಾದ ತಕ್ಷಣ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು ಇದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ. ನಾವು ಅದ್ರ ಲರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಟೇಕ್ ಅವೇಸ್ ಇವ್ರು ಎಷ್ಟೇ ಇವಾಗ ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಹೋದ್ರು ಒಂಥರ ಅಷ್ಟಕ್ಕಷ್ಟೇ ಸೀಮಿತವಾಗಿರುತ್ತೆ ಅವ್ರ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಅದ್ರಲ್ಲಿ. ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ಆಗಕ್ ಚಾನ್ಸೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ನಮ್ ಟೈಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಹೇಗಿತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಈ ಒಂದು ನಾವು ಕ್ಲಾಸಸ್ ಹೋಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪಾಂಡ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಇತ್ತು ಎಲ್ಲಾ ತರದ್ರಲ್ಲೂ. ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಫ್ರಮ್ ಹೆಂಗ್ ಹೇಳೋದು ಅದನ್ನ ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ
ಈಗ
Yeah,
ಮುಂದಕ್ಕೆ
I
ಧೈರ್ಯವಾಗಿ
ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ರೂಮ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ಅಲ್ಲದೆ ಜನರಲ್ ನಾಲೆಡ್ಜ್ ತರ ವಿ ಯೂಸ್ ಟು ಸಿ ಲೈಫ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್. ಯಾರ ಮನೇಲಿ ಏನ್ ನಡೀತಾ ಇದೆ.
ಎಲ್ಲ ದೊಡ್ಡವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಬೆರೀತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ಚಿಕ್ಕವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಇರ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, ಅಜ್ಜಿರ್ ಜೊತೆ ಇರ್ತಾ ಇದ್ವಿ, ವಯಸ್ಸಾದವ್ರ ಗ್ರೂಪ್ ಒಂದಿರ್ತಿತ್ತು, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇರ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, ಮನೆಯವ್ರ ಜೊತೆ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಿದ್ವಿ, ಎಲ್ಲಾರ ಜೊತೆನೂ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಇರ್ತಿತ್ತು. ಈಗ ಮೋರ್ ಆಫ್ ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಚರ್ಡ್ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅಷ್ಟೇ ಗೊತ್ತಿರುತ್ತೆ, ಅದ್ ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬೇರೆ ಏನು ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆ ಇವಾಗ.
I would like to say something.
Yeah, please.
So basically, I think nothing is absolute. There were some, problems or lackings in previous parenting and also in recent parenting. So it's not absolute that earlier was good or now it is good.
Correct.
But I feel that the real experiences of life were more before, which has now been taken by technology or because of certain aspects of, as madam was explaining, structured, like schooling is too much, taking too much time. So I feel both had good or bad, because we see and we feel this differently in different ages. Like when I was a teenager, I used to feel that my parenting was not good, like, because they used to be strict and all. Now when I have become at the age of parent, I feel that, oh, that was better, because I had more free time and leisure time than my kids around my family and all that. So
Okay,
I
just
feel that.
an extension of this previous question. Now all of us are in the parent stage. Have you ever identified, as a child you had less opportunities than your kids? Now they have more opportunities.
Agreed.
But
yes.
they have more opportunities, but they can't think. It's only they go to classes, whatever they say they have to follow. Like it is more mechanical now. Earlier we used to be free. Whatever we want, we used to do. Because they go to class, only whatever they say they have to do. They are restricted that way.
ಅವೈಲಬಿಲಿಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಇವಾಗ ಏನಾರು ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿಂದನಾರು ರಿಮೋಟ್ಲಿ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಆಕ್ಸೆಸ್ ಟು ದ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಏನಾರು ನೋಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಮುಂಚೆ ಎಲ್ಲ ಯಾವ್ದಾರು ಒಂದು ವಿಷಯ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಯಾರು ತಿಳಿದವ್ರು ಕೇಳ್ಬೇಕು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಬುಕ್ಸ್ ನ ರೆಫರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕು. ದಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ದ ಓನ್ಲಿ ದೋಸ್ ಟು ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಅರ್ಲಿಯರ್. ತುಂಬಾ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗೋದು ಒಂದೇನಾರು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದಿದ್ರೆ ಸರಿಯಾದವರು ಸಿಗ್ಬೇಕು ಅವರಿಂದ. ಈಗ ಎಲ್ಲೇ ಕುತ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರು ವಿತ್ ಇನ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ರೀಚ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲಾನು ತಿಳ್ಕೊಳ್ಬಹುದು ಏನಾರು ಕಲಿಬೇಕು ಅಂತಿದ್ರೆ. ಆ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದೆ ಇವಾಗಿನ ಟರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ.
Yes, just quoting this example. This is one of the example. So being a parent, have you any time expressed in front of your kids that, see, now you have all these opportunities, but during my time there was no such facilities?
Yes.
For example,
Yes.
let me tell you one example. um, one couple with the kids came to the clinic, and they were directly telling, see doctor, when I was child I was not getting food, proper food all the 3 times. Now I don't want to have the same problem with the kids. That's why I bring at least 1 kg of fruits every day. But these kids, they are not at all eating the food. Right? There are such many things which we express in front of the children. So, have you ever expressed such things in front of the children?
We have
Need not be
expressed.
this one, many other things like.
I just want to add, yes, we do express many a times, but afterwards we realize, at least I have realized that ಒಂಥರ ಅಜೀರ್ಣ ತರ ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಿಗೆ. ಟೂ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್, ಟೂ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಫೆಸಿಲಿಟೀಸ್, ಟೂ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಅದು ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಇದ್ದಾಗ ಸಿಗದಷ್ಟು we will feel happy about whatever we got. But when there is excess of it, that is also the other extreme. That is what is happening ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ.
See, when I was child, I used to walk 3 to 4 kilometers to reach the school. But now
Yes.
you have school bus facility which comes to the gate. Yes.
ಅಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡಾಗಿದೆ ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ರಿಲೇಟ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ದಟ್ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಶನ್ ಏನೋ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಓಕೆ ಫೈನ್ ಅಂತ ಆತರ ಇರುತ್ತೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇನೆ ಬಟ್ ದೇ ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಇವನ್ ಸಿ ದಟ್ ಒಂದು ಫೋನ್ ಇರ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ ಯಾರ್ದೋ ಮನೆಗ್ ಬರೋದು ಫೋನ್ ಕಾಲ್ ಆತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಏನಾರು ಒಂದು ಎಕ್ಸಾಂಪಲ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರಿಗೆಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಊಹಿಸ್ಕೊಳಕ್ಕೂ ಸಾಧ್ಯ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹೆಂಗಿರ್ತಿತ್ತು ಆತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹಂಗಿರುತ್ತೆ
But in one or the other way,
it has been expressed.
Yeah, we have expressed, right?
Yes.
Okay.
ಪೇರೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆಂಬಿಷನ್ಗಳನ್ನ ಮಕ್ಳ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೇರ್ತಾ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ. ಮಕ್ಳು ಎಲ್ಲ ಹೀಗಾಗ್ಬೇಕು, ಆ ಮಕ್ಳು ಹಂಗಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಈ ಮಕ್ಳು ಹಿಂಗಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಆಂಬಿಷನ್ಸ್ ನ ಹೇರ್ತೀವಿ. ಒತ್ತಡ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಮಕ್ಳಿಗೆ.
We compare.
ಅದರಿಂದ ಅವರು
Many a times we did comparison, right?
Because of too many choices, so there is no confusions. It has created confusions in children actually. Then one decision abilities agli adu illa too many elladrallu ingu sari adu sari okay idu ide adu ide ಆ ತರ ಯಾವ್ದು ನಿರ್ದಿಷ್ಟವಾಗಿ ಇದನ್ನೇ ಅಂತ ಹತ್ರ ಹೇಳಕ್ಕಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ ಮಕ್ಕಳಲ್ಲಿ ಈಗಿನ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ.
Okay, and last question, have you observed when you express all these things, have you observed their feelings or their reactions? Many a times what happens, you have so much of facilities. Now you can after school you can go to this class, that class. When I was kid, I was not getting sufficient food. Now I am giving you lots of vitamins, proteins, all fruits, vegetables, etc. What kind of reaction have you observed from the children?
ಅದು ಹೇಳೋದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆಗತ್ತೆ ನಾವ್ ಯಾವ ತರ ಕನ್ವೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ.
They will say who asked to provide extra.
Exactly. Yes, this is one type of reaction. Yeah.
ಇಲ್ಲ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ನಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾಗ ದೇ ಲಿಸನ್ ಟು ಇಟ್ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಇಟ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಹೌ ಇಟ್ ವಾಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಕ್ ಇನ್ ಡೇಸ್ ಆತರ ಇತ್ತು ಅಂತಂದಾಗ ದೇ ಜಸ್ಟ್ ಲಿಸನ್ ಟು ದಟ್. ಅದರ್ವೈಸ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಅವ್ರಿಗೇನೋ ನಾವೇನೋ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಾ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದೀವಿ ಅನ್ನೋ ತರ ರೀತಿಲಿ ಕನ್ವೆ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ದಟ್ ವುಡ್ ಬಿ ದ ರಿಯಾಕ್ಷನ್ ಹೂ ಆಸ್ಕ್ಡ್ ಯು ಟು ಡು ಇಟ್.
Correct. Usually it is okay, I don't care anta, so what anta.
This is one more. Yeah. So what? And that was your time. Your problem. Yeah. This is one type of reaction. Then
ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಈ ತರ ಏನಾರು ಹೇಳಕ್ ಹೋದ್ರೆ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಬರೋದವ್ರಿಗೆ ಅವಾಗಿನ್ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನು ಟೆನ್ಷನ್ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಏನು ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ ಇರ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ, ಯು ಕೆನಾಟ್ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡಲ್ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ಸ್. ಇವಾಗ ಎಷ್ಟು ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ಸ್ ನಮ್ಗಿದೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾ, ಎಲ್ಲಾ ಕಡೆ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್ಸ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಅಂತ ಅದನ್ನೇ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಹೇಳೋದು. ಅವಾಗ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆಟ ಆಡಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಟೈಮ್ ಇತ್ತು, ಎಲ್ಲ ಆಯ್ತು. ನಮ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಕ್ಕೂ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಇವಾಗ ತುಂಬಾ ಬರೀ ಪ್ರೆಷರ್.
Correct. Okay, so now let's stop these question and answers. Just the intention behind asking these questions was what exactly the parenting is. See, before that, one thing we should know, that is, the children are through us, not from us. Alva means we are just a media, and through this media the children came to this world, but they are totally independent. We tell in Ayurveda, we tell there are 6 different factors in the growth of a baby. Matrija bhava, Pitrija bhava, Satmyaja, Sattvaja, Rasaja, and one more is Atmaja. Atmaja means it is an independent soul. It's an independent soul which came to this world through us. And as this soul needs a support of a physical body, sense organs, and a mind for its expression of the emotions. So that soul is covered with these 3 entities, that is physical body, sense organs, and the mind. This mind, the sense organs, and the physical body right now is not in a stage to look after itself. Means the body is, it has to grow. Now it is not yet completely grown. The sense organs also not completely grown, and the mind is also not completely developed. And because of this, it cannot look after itself completely. But it is an independent soul. It is not dependent on the parents or any other person. As it came through us, there will be some influence of our genetical some factors which run in that soul also, in that body also. Because of that, certain influence will be there, but still ultimately it's an independent soul. Once I think we understand this principle, that the children are through us, not from us, they have their independent existence, they have their independence, likes and dislikes, they have their own behavior patterns, they have their own goal in life, their own tastes, everything. Then it becomes more easy in parenting process. Now before continuing, there will be a homework for 1 month. So next session will be in the next month, the continuation part of the parenting. So in this 1 month, what we need to do is, we have all the 3 different age groups of the parents. The total intention of the parenting is to make that soul which came through us an independent. It should not depend on any others. It should have an independent existence, and our role is to just support and to make it completely independent. So far we did parenting. In our parenting, which were the measures totally so far from its childhood till today, which were our measures which made the kid or to take a next step independently, and which of our behaviors make the child more dependent. So everyone has to cross check so far in parenting, or right now what we are doing, or in the past what we did, or in future what we feel that okay, now our son will be entering into the engineering college, or now next um, he will marry, or next this stage he will become a parent. Even then we are still the parents only, right? So in the past, in present, and in future, in this parenting, which were the measures that we try to make that kid independent and not? Just list out, observe your behaviors in the parenting, and let us discuss in the next class. And we will take up small topics about parentings in different age group of children. So if at all you have questions, you can write the questions and we will discuss in the coming class. Is that okay?
ಮರಣದಂಡನೆಯಂತಹ ಶಿಕ್ಷೆಗೆ
Yes, sir.
ಅಪವಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದು ಗೊತ್ತಿದ್ರು ಕೂಡ
Okay. So then looking forward for your active participation in this session. So let us close today's session. So we will be discussing in the next class. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Prashant Gokhale, sir. Of course, parenting is a multifaceted experience for every parents, right? So one day, one moment, we feel very proud we are parents. One day we feel very happy. The next moment we might feel, why did I even become a parent? I'm not able to handle this much of stress. I was already full of tension, stress with my life, things happening in my life, and this parenthood is adding more troubles and it is never ending. So we experience all kind of emotions, all kind of ups and downs in this parenthood journey, and it is of course like a roller coaster ride, and that's what it makes parenthood a thrilling and enjoyable experience also. And it's not just a ride wherein we enjoy the ride, but it's a lifetime learning session wherein we learn different lessons that are customized for ourselves. Like each parent will have their own learnings from their own children, and every time they learn a new lesson, they are developing, they are evolving as a better person every day. So whenever we feel parenthood is tough, or it is difficult, or it is more challenging, and we tend to lose hopes, or we get frustrated out of it, we come across a lesson in it. So if we are keen to observe what kind of lesson that is awaiting for us in that kind of difficult or challenging situation, we can learn better and we can evolve better. So, with this message, we would like to end today's Women Health Education Program session here. Thank you for all of you for your active participation. Your active participation make this program more meaningful and purposeful, and we also get motivated with your questions and discussion like this. So hope you all come back with more questions, more discussion points in the next upcoming sessions. So today we'll end our session with a Swasti Mantra. And if you have any questions regarding today's topic, of course, as usual, WhatsApp group will be open for discussion until tomorrow night. So do ask your queries there, and we will be happy to answer your questions. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
वैश्वानरो वसुरग्निस्वस्तये देवा अवङ्पृभवः स्वस्तये स्वस्ति नो रुद्रः पात्वं हसः स्वस्ति मित्रावरुणा स्वस्ति पथ्ये रेवति स्वस्ति न इन्द्रश्चाग्निश्च स्वस्ति नो अदिते कृधि स्वस्ति पन्थामनुचरेम सूर्या चन्द्रमसा विव पुनर्ददताघ्नता जानता सङ्गमे महि स्वस्त्ययनं ताक्षमरिष्टनेमिं महद्भूतं वायसं देवतानाम् असुरघ्नमिन्द्रसखं समत्सु बृहद्यशो नाममिवारुहेम अम्भोमुच माङ्गिरसंगयं च स्वस्त्या आत्रेयं मनसा च तार्क्ष्यम् प्रयतपाणिः शरणं प्रपद्ये स्वस्ति सम्बाधेष्वभयं अस्तु ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरिः ॐ
Thank you everyone. We will meet again in the February month, third Tuesday, to discuss more about such topics.